Chapter 525, Holy Soft Leather Armor. This chapter is updated by Novels.pl. Xue Chen's broadsword technique was overwhelming. It brought a gust of cold wind and tore Zhang Yuochen's robe apart. Zhang Yuochen was calm. He controlled the auspicious vase and simultaneously calculated the power of space. Xue Chen's broadsword was about to hit Zhang Yuochen in the head. If it made contact, he would inevitably die. Zhang Yuochen cast out space moving and disappeared from his original place. Then, he appeared behind Xue Chen. Failing to attack Zhang Yuochen, Xue Chen's broadsword move hit the water's surface, causing the entire sea to churn and two huge 33-meter waves to rise. He quickly realized the severity of the situation. He hurriedly drew back his broadsword and split toward the spot behind him. But before his broadsword could slice out, a huge pulling force appeared above his head. It formed a vortex and enveloped his entire body. It was like falling into a black hole. Xue Chen could not fight the strong pulling force no matter how hard he struggled. He could not control his body at all and he flew upward. From afar, one could see a small delicate bottle suspending above Xue Chen's head. A vortex was condensing just above the bottle. Xue Chen's body became smaller and smaller. He became as small as a finger and was suctioned into the bottle. Zhang Yuochen quickly took back the auspicious vase. He held it in his hand. Wow! It can even take in a master at the fourth change of the Fish Dragon realm. The power of the auspicious vase is amazing. Boom! The auspicious vase shook violently. It formed a circular wave of power, causing Zhang Yuochen's fingers to ache. If he had not increased his power to control it, it would have flown away. Where am I? Let me out. Zhang Yuochen, aren't you first on the heaven board? Fight with me in person if you dare. The auspicious vase resounded with Xue Chen's voice. With a loud bang, it shook violently again. Zhang Yuochen used genuine qi to quell the auspicious vase. He said to himself, the auspicious vase's attack is still weak. If I added a powerful flame array to the bottle, it would be able to refine Xue Chen instead of just trapping him. The auspicious vase still had many imperfections. If it encountered a superior with higher cultivation, the superior could beat his way out before it exerted its strength. For now, Zhang Yuochen could only take back the auspicious vase. He would have to figure out a solution for dealing with Xue Chen after he killed Xue Hai. PHHF, Xue Hai drove his ship forward and overtook him. Although Xue Hai had been standing in the distance, he had clearly seen the battle. He had seen Xue Conglin die under Zhang Yuochen's sword and he had also seen Zhang Yuochen use the auspicious vase to take Xue Chen in. Those two craps. Zhang Yuochen took them out so easily. It seems that they have become accustomed to a decadent family lifestyle. They are useless. Xue Hai was quite angry. Xue Conglin's cultivation was at the peak of the third change in the Fish Dragon realm. From his point of view, even if he was no match for Zhang Yuochen, he could have avoided being hurt if he had been more careful. However, Xue Conglin had also been arrogant. The dragon lock chain had entangled him before he could escape, and finally, he died under Zhang Yuochen's sword. Xue Conglin's death was his own fault. No one else was to blame. However, Xue Chen had profound cultivation and his strength was much higher than Zhang Yuochen's. He had been put into a bottle and instantly suppressed. To Xue Hai this was unacceptable. Xue Chen's cultivation has reached the fourth change of the Fish Dragon realm, and he is a battle-seasoned superior among the elders. How could he make such a mistake and lose to a junior like Zhang Yuochen? What on earth was that mysterious bottle? Xue Hai was very annoyed at the loss of 3 Fish Dragon realm masters. Even in a large family like Saint Xue Gentry, the number of superiors in the Fish Dragon realm was small. It took a lot of resources for the family to cultivate a superior in the Fish Dragon realm. It could be said that every monk in the Fish Dragon realm was a great treasure. If Saint Xue Gentry was to be compared to an empire, then every monk in the Fish Dragon realm was a city. A loss of a monk in the Fish Dragon realm was more regrettable than the loss of a city. Now, Xue Hai had no way out. If he could not defeat Zhang Yuochen today, he would be severely punished when he returned to Saint Xue Gentry. Even his position as successor of Saint Xue Gentry would be lost. Xue Hai expelled his contempt and showed an ugly look. He said, Zhang Yuochen, I admit that I made a mistake by looking down on you. However, from now on, I won't give you a chance. Zhang Yuochen smiled. If I were you, I would run away now. Xihai was extremely angry, but he smiled and said, Zhang Yuochen, you are too arrogant. When I was in the heaven realm, I reached 91st on the heaven board. Even if there is a gap between 91st and 1st, it is not huge. Moreover, I have reached the second change of the fish dragon realm and my strength is much higher than it was before. Even if you have some great holy weapon, it can't make up for the gap in cultivation. Zhang Yuochen said, to have become a descendant of Saint Xigentry, you are obviously not average warrior. However, are you sure you can take my swift swordsmanship? Swift and neat? Xihai sneered and looked confident. Well then, let's see which one is stronger, your sword technique or my power. Swoosh. A cyan light column flew out from above Xihai's head. The light column rose from the sea and connected to the lower part of the clouds. A martial soul rushed out from the top of Xihai's head and suspended in the light column. The martial soul began to mobilize the heaven and earth spiritual chi. It could be seen with the naked eye. Streaks of spiritual chi gathered from all directions and poured into Xihai's globula. Xihai's martial soul was very powerful. It had reached the 7th change in the fish dragon realm. Its strength was almost equal to the strength of Zhang Yuochen's martial soul. Rock wings spreading. Xihai's arms spread out. Rich genuine chi flowed out from his palm and transformed into two huge wings of light. The exercise that Xihai practiced was rock martial classics, a king's stage exercise. His wings moved. Xihai flew up above Zhang Yuochen's head. His two palms struck down at the same time. Two strands of palm power condensed into two huge handprints. Before they even struck, the water under Zhang Yuochen's feet had already pressed down and sunken. Two 10-meter-long handprints appeared on the sea's surface. Xihai was even more powerful than Xichen. When he attacked, the whole world seemed to be under his control. Shwa. Zhang Yuochen immediately demonstrated space moving. He leapt through the space and appeared on Xihai's left. What? Xihai was shocked. He did not expect that Zhang Yuochen's speed could reach such a level. Number. That was not speed, it was the power of space. When Zhang Yuochen fought with Xichen, he had used space moving. However, at the time, Xihai had been too far away to feel any spatial fluctuation. But this time, Xihai clearly sensed that the surrounding space had sent out a slight turbulence. The feeling was very similar to the power that ships from the primitive world sent out when they shuttled through wormholes and space passages. What made Xihai surprised was the fact that Zhang Yuochen could use this kind of power. He knew better than anyone how terrible it was. Zhang Yuochen did not allow Xihai to think further. He prepared to kill him with one blow, to kill Xihai with his sword. After displaying space moving, Zhang Yuochen immediately captured a mark of time to merge into his sword technique. He waved his sword and attacked toward Xihai's neck. Swift and neat. Zhang Yuochen was only 3 meters away from Xihai. After integrating with the power of time, his sword was as fast as light. The Abyss Ancient Sword hit Xihai in the neck. Ping. Like hitting a layer of armor, it sounded like two pieces of metal gliding. It burst out several sparks. Zhang Yuochen was surprised. He could not understand why the sharp Abyss Ancient Sword hadn't punctured Xihai's body at all. Xihai merely tilted back under the attack. He was quick-witted. He flipped around in the void space to unload the power of the Abyss Ancient Sword. Then, he broke out a speed that was 3 times faster than before and struck Zhang Ruojun in the chest. His speed was so striking that Zhang Yuochen didn't see even a shadow of movement. He did not even have time to display space moving. He could only inspire the power of Dragon Pearl quickly. Meanwhile, he swiftly turned the side of the Abyss Ancient Sword to block the attack. Pow! Zhang Yuochen flew back 5,000 meters. With a thud, he fell into the sea. After a moment, he flew up from the sea and landed on the surface. PFFF. He spat out a mouthful of blood, and his face was very pale. His 5 internal organs and 6 hollow organs were all badly hurt and burning painfully. His body seemed to crack. Despite being seriously injured, Zhang Yuochen was still standing straight with no fear on his face. He stared at Xihai, who was suspending in the air, and asked, "Are you wearing holy soft leather armor?" Xihai nodded as he saw that Zhang Yuochen had been severely injured by his palm. He was quite satisfied with the power he had shown. "Yes, I do wear holy soft leather armor. Even if your sword technique is stronger and your sword is sharper, You can't hurt me. Xuhai began to run his genuine chi. His skin emitted a layer of golden light. With sacred power, the layer of light sucked all the spiritual chi from the sea to form a white cloud that enveloped his body. From afar he looked like a young saint. He stood in the center of heaven and earth and controlled the entire world. That was the aura of a saint. Holy soft leather armor, a protective holy weapon, was made of saint's skin and bones and 9 other precious materials. Holy soft leather armor automatically adhered to a monk's skin. If people did not observe it carefully, they could not detect its existence at all.